everyone. Hope the new month has so far been good. Today in News Generation, the parents of wheelchair-bound Richard want justice for their son. We take you to Bimbila Senior High School where we join them for breakfast. And we have an update on the young girl who was her family's breadwinner, and it's good news. We also have a discussion about cancer. My name is Benis Abubedu. Stay with us. You can get interactive with us on social media. On Facebook is newsgenerationgh.com and on Twitter is newsgengh. Now to a very first story. We need justice for our son now. This is the cry of 17-year-old Richard Jangba's parents. Richard fell from a coconut tree when his teacher ordered him to pluck him some fruit. I'm sure you remember this story about Richard, who is now paralyzed and confined to a wheelchair. The teacher and school authorities promised to help him, but nothing has been done. So Richard's parents want justice.
Richard says he wants to continue his education.
I'm going to school to university, and this is a driver. The driver and them go to same year driver. Me pray them minim da met me solia. Me kasa me to me school akuso edumano.
His parents say they have spent all their financial and material resources on medical bills. They are heartbroken when they see Richard's colleagues going to school or playing around the same neighborhood.
Na kwala so me oti hono na me hwe ne se ana me kuma na bibi ye me ti ha no de bebre da me ntime kenkan pu ntime kenkan bisa kwala na me hono hu na onye se na me de wo no nya se na me de wo no ntime nam oni ne nuanu ba ko yo ja oni ne yeti pen a oti momu ne oyeti no a o mutime ko ba nso se oti hono hwe se o mo ko na mo bobolo kura na me kura na eni so egumi e ha me pa e ha me.
My say ebe yana muso be operation na come education for no so muso yes scan be so be sin no scan so amana doctor for say fa dum refi e pese kan be hu we no mo se de na mo pe ejuma bi a dachi say otumi sole o no be di o na be ye o na no kwa so na say fa.
Isaac Nyako is Richard's older brother.
I'm driving by na me hwe no emwa na me kwaje from Sanka me be driving school. Enti from Sanka me kwaje na me year preparation na when the ebebu mu nti ama me scam me dey kwa nyina no me nyina e ba senti ese minimum we bia obabi abi.
The teacher, authorities of the Abuabo Sonko Presby JHS and the Suhum Krabua Kotal District Education Directorate have all failed to keep up their earlier promise to take care of Richard. They have rather become defensive.
You can put me so many questions. The statement says that go to Kota and see the district director. That's all.
Oh, I understand what you're saying, all right.
But why trying to push me?
No.
The state cannot be vicarious.
Meanwhile, human rights lawyer Francis Xavier Sosu says the teacher in question and the GES have violated Richard's right to special care and protection.
By virtue of the fact that the child has been enrolled in school and the child goes to school. So once the child is in school, the care and protection of those children are entrusted into those teachers, the head teachers, the supervisors, GES officials, and everybody who is supposed to ensure that those children are catered for. In the event that the child suffers some acute damage or substantial injury as a result of the breach in those fundamental obligations, the state, i.e. all its actors, both the teacher, the state itself, GES, are all liable, to are liable in damages for the compensation of this child.
Look, we gonna come out.
I'm quite sure you've been told several times to sit at a table to enjoy your meals, but not everyone can. At least no students of the Bimbala Senior High School who cannot sit down at mealtime even if they choose to.
It's 9 a.m. in Bimibila Senior High School. We are greeted by colorful cups on rows of tables. Yes, it's breakfast. Students wait around for the day's first meal. Then in moments, prefects call out to the table heads. And everyone else. What follows is normal for students, but a surprise for a first-time visitor.
It's very sympathetic because when it's rain, we have to pack all the food to the veranda there and serve it on the floor. Sometimes you can't even identify your plate and someone will mistakenly take your plate away. So that gives us a lot of problems.
You should go to the class.
Yeah, you have to go like that because since there's no food for you, you have to. And when it's summertime season like this, when the dust blows, everything gets into the food. And then the mango tree too near the dining, when it's a bit rain is blowing, you see that all those small stuff get into the food and you have to take it like that.
When that is over, students set the table for the next meal of the day. The school didn't exactly choose a setting which in some situations would be considered picturesque.
They got the boarding status in 2006 and that makeshift dining hall is there. So we're just making do with what you have said.
If cadets people are not there to help us, if they rush inside, they can take, somebody may take his quality food. So that because of that, we will make sure that we will let the cadets guide all the corners, so that the food will serve by the table head, so that everybody will come and take his food.
This won't go on for too long, as the Ghana Education Trust Fund has just started a dining hall project, and hopefully it will be completed before the rainy season starts in April.
For many children of Nkanchina number 2, living with family members who had leprosy is normal. Kweku Kojo lives with his father and grandmother who have been cured of leprosy. According to Kweku, he is often teased about this in school. This is what he told us.
My name is Kweku Kojo. I am a class 2. I am a 9 years old.
Kweku Kojo and his family live at Nkanchina number 2. He has called this community home since he was born. Nkanchina number 2, like many communities in the Kpanda district of the northern region, is known for yam farming. And the houses here are mostly made of mud. The community is also home to many cured lepers. Many of the children here live with family members who suffer from leprosy or have been cured of the disease. Kweku's grandmother, Ajuabuya, is a cured leper and also blind. Due to her condition, she relies on Kweku and his siblings to do everything for her. Ajuabuya does not know when she was born, but she remembers vividly the day she was told she was suffering from leprosy and her reaction to the news. Caring for his aged grandmother has taught him some valuable lessons about how to relate to people who have suffered from leprosy. Kweku says he is often laughed at in school because his father and grandmother once suffered from leprosy. Kweku, like many children, has a dream. He wants to achieve great things despite the condition he and his family find themselves in at the moment.
His
father, Kwajomu Muni, used to be a farmer, but now relies on donations from organizations.
Me kakra kakra so enu so na father be boy kakra kakra na me fia omo. Te sin de sande me boy kakra kakra si no na omo boy na en sa.
Until the health of his father improves, Kwaku Kwajo and his family will continue to live on donations from individuals and groups.
About 2 months ago, we told you about 14-year-old Florence Jakete, who was working hard to take care of her family. She was the breadwinner and had to go to the farm every day to get money for her family to survive. Well, today we have some good news. A church in Switzerland has adopted the family of 5.
Then, Florence had a routine. As breadwinner of her family, she had to go to farm at dawn every day. She and her siblings are orphans, and their grandmother is too weak to provide for the family.
The job is difficult. It's tough sometimes. Uprooting the cassava, it's not easy. I feel pains in my waist and legs all the time. But if I don't go to the farm, my family will starve.
Following our report about Florence's struggles, a church in Switzerland, Calvary Family, has stepped in to take care of Florence and her entire family.
First, I'm going from Kutuban, and Sissy, and Papa need to see a man from him. Papa, no, I am our money is scanty. So, she ain't to see a woman my jam.
Florence has stopped going to farm. Her routine has also changed.
First, me surround much better na makwa from but see the main kwa from nibi. This see me surround upon na se me pra na me come so wi na majare ko school.
Going to school has become fun for her, and her teachers have witnessed a significant change in her academic work.
Before this help came, you know, when she comes to class in those days, you could see that things were not really going on well for her. Psychologically, you could see that she was down. But for now, I think she's happy. Whenever she comes to class, she tries to contribute. Unlike those days, she will be sitting idle. You know, sometimes she will isolate herself without talking to anyone. So I think this help has brought a tremendous improvement in her life.
But Florence is not the only beneficiary of this support. Her 2 siblings have been enrolled in school, one in a junior high school and the other in a vocational school.
I'm very happy someone is helping me, so I promise him I'll learn hard so that he will be proud of me.
I thank the person who is taking care of me now, because I never thought that I'll get a person who will be taking care of me and my family. So may the God bless him and his family.
Florence's grandmother, who was filled with grief the last time we saw her, could not hold back her joy.
Yesu adom ohia ne ahokyere ebo ade adawroma enti sese menene nanam ahokyere nyina eto atwa enti osofo no medana se enyame hira no.
Although surrounded by rubble, the excitement in the family is clear to see. The children now have the support they need to follow their dreams.
A big thank you to Calvary Family Church in Switzerland for their support. We'll take a breather, we'll be right back. You're welcome back. Well, guess what? There's some good news today. If you can remember, some time ago, the Ghana Education Service said it was going to offer students who failed BEC the opportunity to rewrite. And today, that program was launched. I have Latif with me here in the studio, and he's going to be telling us more. Hi, Latif.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Can you give us an update? What exactly is the GES saying they are going to do for students who do not pass their exams?
Yeah, like you just said, this is good news for candidates who couldn't make it the first time. So this is a second chance for BEC candidates who couldn't pass it. Now, basically, this was going to happen. If you are a candidate and couldn't pass the first time, all you need to go to a district education office, put in an application, and initially I thought it was free, but then I asked the minister whether it involves any amount of money that candidates would have to pay. Yes, and it came up that you would have to pay either 75 Ghana cedis or 105 Ghana cedis, depending on the number of subjects you are going to register.
Okay.
And then it is also open-ended. They don't have any cap on the age limit that's, okay, if you are 16, 17, then you are qualified. Even if you are 60, 70, 80, you can still come on board, register, and take the examination.
Okay, did it tell you when during the year you can take this exam?
Yeah. Apparently registration is closed. First batch of this innovative examination starts on the 16th of this month, so we are about 2 weeks away from kickoff, if you like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is the exam going to be taken once a year, once every year?
Yeah, just like we do for WASI.
Okay.
It's just a replica, if you like. So every year we're going to have a period where registration is open for candidates to come in and register. So it's once every year, just like we do for WASI. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So were there some young people around to?
Yeah, I tried getting some kids around, but then, looking at the time, all of them are in school, and that's I couldn't get any one of them to speak. But I'm hoping to get them, in the evening to see if I can get one or two to see, their expectation going forward. Are they going to take up the opportunity and make good use of it, or they're gonna let it go just like that?
You had the opportunity to speak to the minister.
Yeah.
What did you ask, and what were you told?
Yeah, I asked the minister. In the brief, she didn't mention the amount involved.
Okay.
So after her speech, I asked her the amount, and she told me the amount, that is 75 and 105 Ghana cedis, and whether or not there is a cap on the age.
Okay.
And she told me there are no age limits, and that candidate, anybody at all can just register and then take up the exams.
You mentioned earlier that the amount you have to pay is dependent on how many courses or subjects you're rewriting.
Yeah.
So does it mean that you can take your previous exam and then merge it with the results of this one, since you have, to choose which subjects to rewrite?
Yeah, that's exactly so. You see, it's just like WASI, where people can have 2, 3, result slips, to seek for admission. It's just like the same. So you can have, say you wrote your first BEC, A, B, C, F, then you go for the F, and you can put the two together and use it for, to apply for a secondary education. And one thing that came up was also that, you see, with WASI, you can be in school and write WASI. But in this case, if you've not completed JHS, there is no opportunity for you.
Okay.
So it's for, people who have completed and couldn't make the cut.
Okay.
So it's not as if
you
be in school. Yeah, that you've indeed written BEC and couldn't make it.
Okay.
Then you come with your. So during the registration process, you would have to come over with your forms, result slip, to show to registration officer that, okay, I've indeed taken BEC and couldn't pass, so I'm coming for a second chance. You see, WASI is different. You can be in school and write WASI, but this one is different. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Latif.
Welcome.
Well, spread the news. Let your friends know if you know anybody who even wants to rewrite and is 50 years or above. Now let's move on to WhatsApp. Every February 4th is World Cancer Day, and according to the World Health Organization, cancer is the second deadliest disease in the world. So we had a discussion with some students of Sunflower School on what they know about cancer. Let's take a listen.
It's a genetic disease.
Cancer can be prevented, and we can fight against cancer too.
We can also check on our diets in order to prevent cancer.
Cancer can be prevented, but because Because of the poverty rate in some countries, a lot of people die.
Today is World Cancer Day, and the theme for the day is cancer beyond us? It's a kind of a question they are asking. So with the treatment, prevention, cure, eradicating, is it beyond us as a nation or the whole world to fight against this deadly disease?
If we talk about the nation alone, we could say that it is beyond us, but if we come together, we can all fight the disease.
Cancer is not beyond us. I say so because, like, an example of cancer is the skin cancer. And one thing I know which causes skin cancer is some of the creams we use, like the bleaching creams we use. And most Ghanaians like to copy blindly. Immediately anything is released on the Ghanaian market, they want to buy it, especially if it's like a bleaching cream or something. And bleaching creams also cause skin cancer. So I advise that people should stop using the bleaching creams, and it would also prevent cancer.
Apart from the bleaching creams, I'm sure most Ghanaians are also ignorant of the fact that some hair dyes can also cause cancer.
I also think cancer can be prevented by checking our diet. Like, our Ghanaian dishes are very healthy. That's why in the olden times, our grandparents used to die at the ages of maybe 90, 80. But now when you come to the modern world, that's Accra or in the city, people are eating junk food. And even when the white people come to visit us, they prefer our local dishes more than theirs because they know the health benefits in ours. But whenever you tell a Ghanaian child, if the child has eaten maybe tozafi before, the child is like, ew, what's that? It's disgusting. Then they start to behave like they're from the European countries when they are actually from Ghana and they were raised and bred here.
Well, let's take an example from leukemia, one of the most deadliest cancers we have. All I know is that it's from the blood, and I think what is related to blood is from food. So I think that if people should cut down the eating of junk food and the distribution of products that they know aren't good, like the FBI, the Food and Drugs Board medicines that they produce, we can make leukemia go down at a faster rate than that of which is going down now.
I also think that those of us who smoke, we can also advise them so that they can also reduce or cut down the way they take in the cigarettes so that they can also avoid lung cancer.
My auntie had cancer, but because she went for regular checkups, she was able to know, and there was something done about it. There was surgery performed on her. She had cervical cancer, so her womb was removed. But since she has finished giving birth, it's not a big deal.
Statistics also shows that 100,000 children die of cancer every year. And breaking it down, like with the developed countries, only 20% of them die, and in the developing country 80 to 90% of those children die every year. So why do you think it is so?
Most of the developed countries have the equipment that they need to be able to cure the cancer.
Most of the developed countries use their money wisely. They use it on important resources and how to benefit they themselves and the citizens of the country.
Very well said. So those at home, this is what your friends at Sunflower School are saying about cancer, what they think can be done to prevent, cure, or even eradicate it from our society. So if you're home and you want to contribute, you can go to our Facebook page. It's Facebook.com/News Generation GH. You can also follow us on Twitter at NewsGenGH.
Every February 4th is World Cancer Day, and according to the World Health Organization, cancer is the second deadliest disease in the world. So what is cancer?
Cancer begins when cells in parts of the body start to grow out of control. There are many kinds of cancers, but they all start because of out of control growth of abnormal cells. Cancer was discovered in Egypt and dates back to about 3000 BC. The origin of the word cancer is credited to the Greek physician Hippocrates between 460 to 370 BC, who is considered the father of medicine. Over the years, the incidence of childhood cancers has increased. Globally, an estimated 100,000 children with cancer die every year from lack of diagnosis and basic treatment. According to worldchildcancer.org, a global organization committed to the well-being of children with cancer, survival rates for children in high-income countries are about 80% and 10% in low-income countries. In many developed countries, the incidence is slowly increasing, as rates of childhood cancer increased by 0.6% a year between 1975 and 2002 in the United States, by 1.1% a year between 1978 and 1997 in Europe. In Ghana, 16,000 people get the disease every year, with cervical cancer levels the highest at 3,000.
Before we go, let's take a look at some stories which made headlines.
An investigative documentary is out highlighting alleged abuses and corruption at the Countryside Children's Welfare Home at Bojasi in the Central Region. The documentary is the work of investigative journalist Anas Arimea Anas and reveals that more than 100 children at the home are allegedly sexually abused, neglected and starved as donations are diverted. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Nana Oyelita, says anybody found culpable will face the law. Chadian troops have entered Nigeria to join the battle against militant Islamist group Boko Haram. Armored vehicles and troops crossed a bridge from Cameroon following airstrikes and mortar attacks on Boko Haram positions. Fighting focused on the key northeastern town of Gamboro. Mohamed Fahmy, one of two Al Jazeera journalists still held in Egypt, has renounced his Egyptian citizenship to secure his release. The journalist, who is also Canadian, was told to give up his nationality or his freedom. The status of his Egyptian colleague Baha Mohammed remains unclear. A third journalist, Peter Christie, who was freed last Sunday, says he felt incredible anger at leaving his colleagues in a Cairo jail. The Australian journalist was freed from prison and deported after 400 days behind bars. The three Al Jazeera English journalists were arrested in 2013 after being accused of collaborating with the banned Muslim Brotherhood after former President Mohamed Morsi was ousted by the military. An African Cup of Nations referee has been banned for 6 months for poor performance. Referee Sishan gave Equatorial Guinea a controversial penalty and stoppage time as they beat Tunisia 2-1 in the quarterfinals. Tunisia staff confronted the officials after the match and their federation has been fined $50,000. CAF says the referee's failing included an unacceptable failure to maintain calm and ensure proper control of the players during the match. CAF also wanted an apology from Tunisia for accusation of bias. Meet the lamb that thinks it's a sheepdog. Pet the lamb was raised by coolies, a type of herding dog, and now thinks she's a sheepdog. Pet has become famous for her dog-like antics. She was adopted by coolies after being taken in when she struggled to survive following her birth in April 2014. Pet instantly bonded with her fellow housemates and was adopted by a sheepdog called Dice.
That's it for this edition. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Benis Abubeidu. Take care.